Story 1: The closet incident. Childhood. When I was really young, second or maybe third grade, something happened that I'll never forget. My parents had to attend some fancy evening event on a night when it was pouring rain. They planned to drive back home after, but the storm turned so bad it became dangerous to travel. So they called me and explained they'd stay at a friend's house overnight. I insisted I was fine on my own. Mom still made me promise to do a list of things before bed: lock the doors, close every window and blind, and leave one light on. I stayed downstairs eating candy and watching TV until I accidentally fell asleep. Hours later I woke up freezing, which was strange because everything in the house was sealed tight. When I went upstairs to my room, lightning lit up the walls and I noticed something wrong. My closet door was cracked open. I knew it had been shut earlier. The next flash of lightning confirmed it. Someone was in my room. I slipped out as quietly as I could and hid under the dining room table. Minutes later, I heard uneven footsteps like someone stumbling coming down the stairs. Then I saw to bare, muddy, yellow-tinted legs with cuts all over them. The person dropped a wrench right near me. I thought if they bent down, I was dead. They eventually left, slamming the front door. I stayed hidden until morning, too terrified to move. I never told my parents right away because I didn't want them to know I'd fallen asleep without following all their instructions. Years later I told them, but by then, it was too late for anyone to figure out who that intruder was. Story 2: The park chased teenagers. I was 15 when this happened. It was a rainy Saturday night, too loud for me to sleep. Around 1 a.m., I decided to take a walk through the well-lit park near my house, something I'd done before in our safe suburb and neighborhood. Halfway home, I spotted a person lying face down in the street. At first, I thought maybe they'd been hit by a car. As I moved closer, I heard this awful screech in the distance like an animal in pain. But not quite. I spun around, saw nothing. And when I looked back, the figure in the road was sitting upright, staring straight at me. Then he stood up grinning and pulled out a kitchen knife. Before I could process what was happening, he sprinted toward me, yelling, "I'll kill you." I bolted into the park instead of leading him toward my house. The rain-soaked grass slowed me down, but it slowed him too. My only goal was to lose him in the trees. I never looked back until I was deep inside the woods, crouched behind a tree, heart pounding out of my chest. I stayed hidden for 20 minutes before making a long detour home. I never saw him again. To this day, I can't explain that distant screech I heard right before it all happened, and I don't know if it had anything to do with him. Story 3: The campsite intruder. Adulthood. A few months ago, after a messy breakup, I drove out to a remote riverside spot to camp alone. Northern California wilderness, far from anyone. I noticed two trucks parked at the trailhead and passed two guys fishing on my way in. One of them awkwardly said something about target shooting cams, which felt forced, but I brushed it off. Later, I saw that same man across the river. He asked my name, then pulled out what looked like a disposable camera and snapped a picture of me before walking away without a word. That's when my nerves really kicked in. That night, as I lay in my tent, I heard footsteps circling my campsite. I grabbed my handgun, stepped into the rain with a flashlight, and there he was standing by a tree, holding an axe. His face was blank, emotionless. I leveled the gun and told him, calm as I could, to leave or I'd shoot. He muttered something chilling about how his friend Ivan didn't want him coming here, so he had to deal with Ivan. I fired a warning shot over his head. He dropped the axe, and I made him remove his shoes so he couldn't follow me easily. I packed up fast, keeping my light on him. then threw his shoes deep into the woods and told him to walk in the opposite direction. I hiked out in the pitch black, hard hammering, and called police once I had cell service. I never found out what happened to him or to Ivan.